Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here. Welcome. Let's slay some demons. Sisters and brothers, a lot to talk about, short time to talk about it in. So much, but it's really simple when you think about it, because prophecy is literally jumping off the walls, bouncing off the walls. You can't miss it. If you focus on the Abrahamic covenant, everything becomes totally crystal clear. But you have everyone telling you, don't pay attention to that. If you focus on the Abrahamic covenant, focus on Exodus, everything becomes crystal clear. You don't need the angel. Everything becomes crystal clear just focusing on Exodus and the Abrahamic covenant. The scientists, and they set this up, they made it crystal clear. If you couldn't see the angel, you definitely could see Exodus, because most of you that have been in the church know it's about Exodus. It's the basis of the Jewish religion, Judaism. They live and breathe that particular book. That's the base of their religion, Exodus. And if you couple that with Malachi, you can't go wrong. There's no reason why you should be confused or go wrong. No reason whatsoever. So we're going to talk about that, brothers and sisters. Because if you're lost because you want to. Because if you just focus on that, everything instantly becomes totally clear. Everything becomes instantly clear. And it's very simple. Exodus. The story of Exodus. They tell, oh, that's in the past. Just look at it from a present view and see if everything doesn't fall into place exactly like they say. Exactly. First come God. He raised Elijah. He have a spokesman. Elijah would preach for about 40 years. Then his spokesman would have us run around the wilderness for 40 years, deceiving us, having us worship the golden calf. And then will come a plague. And we'll turn over to Joshua, take us home. A plague that will kill the firstborn. That means the elderly. How can you miss it, brothers and sisters? You've been here 400 years. 2019 was the 400th year. 2020 was a plague that's killing the firstborn. That's the elderly. How can you miss it? Let's move on, brothers and sisters. There's no way you can miss it. You're missing it because you want to. This is the world that's coming in. See? Going back to the promised land. See? You bring it back and restore it. Toward the great restoration, the great resurrection. Restore it. The biological, so everything be cleaned up. So the earth had to be cleaned up because they had corrupted it. Isn't the world earth corrupted? Global warming and all the stuff they're talking about. And now we got to talk about ice age and all these things coming in. Drought, famine, wars. This is what they're trying to prevent. Because we're going to clean the world up. First, we got to get rid of those that's causing a burden to the earth, as the Quran talks about. Once they're cleaned up, then the earth is restored. Our biological creation is restored, cleaned up, and returned back to our land. And our woman is put back on the throne where she belongs, restored. The mother, the queen of the goddess of civilization, the queen of civilization, the mother of civilization, the mother of all of us living. This was trying to stop. This the world's coming in, make all things new. The fulfillment of the Abrahamic covenant, which they're not talking about. Why are they not talking about the Abrahamic covenant? Everyone should be talking about, every black preacher out there should be talking about the Abrahamic covenant. Farrakhan should be talking about the Abrahamic covenant. Why are they not? When it's so crystal clear at this point in time. 40 years enslavement. The year following by judgment, and a plague that will kill the firstborn and elderly and pass over you. And it's passing over Black Africa, and it's passing over you too. So what's the difference between you and Black Africa? That should be big news. It's passing over a whole continent of people. And they're not social distancing. They have challenges, mental, physical challenges. They say the worst healthcare system in the world, and they're supposed to be the poorest continent on the planet. Yet it's not affecting them. They're not social distancing and not wearing masks. So why is it passing over them? Passover. You ever heard of Passover? That's what the Judaism celebrates. Because they're talking about this story that they claim happened in the past have no proof whatsoever. It's passing over them, and it's passing over you too. So why not telling you that? What's the difference between you and them? What's the secret? They keep a secret. They keep that secret that's passing over Africa. That should be big news. How come it's passing over Africa? They should be telling you, man, why is it passing over them? That should be big news all over the planet. Hey, it's getting everybody. They should be able to investigate so they can figure out maybe they can do something, find out what's going on over there so they can apply it over here. But they're not doing that. They're keeping it quiet. They're not talking about it. And the preachers ain't talking about it. And Farrakhan ain't talking about it. Why isn't Farrakhan talking about it? Because if he teach you to go and study Exodus and follow it through, he exposes himself. Exposes himself because he's Aaron. He's the one that's been leading you for 40 years, ripping you off, sucking your blood. He can't come and even it's right in front of your face. He can't acknowledge it. He can't not acknowledge it. He's got to distort it as much as he can. So he twists Elijah Muhammad's teachings from instead of 1619 to 2019. He said, no, we started enslaving in 1555. Even though Elijah Muhammad's teacher says no, it took 64 years to prepare us to be slaves. So enslavement started 1619, and everything happened exactly on time. 2019, 2020 came in exactly at a bang, exactly as Scripture said. This Scripture said, oh, how can this be possible? It's all right, something 1,000 years ago it happened now, and it happened exactly like they said. Exactly like they said it's happening. So why isn't Farrakhan talking about it? Again, because it exposes him. He's got to be Aaron. If he follow Exodus, right? If you follow Exodus, it exposes him. So he cannot let you go down that route. He cannot. And he can't follow Malachi because Malachi fits in with Exodus because Malachi talks about the one that comes after Elijah that has to clean up somebody's mess. So he can't talk about that because that person we're talking about, what we're talking about right now, the Abrahamic covenant. And who's talking about it? No one's talking about it but me. No one. I've been talking about it for years. No one's talking about it. Yeah, I warned you about it last year. I warned you about it the year before and many years ahead of time. And now we're in it. And no one's talking about it but me. No one. The messenger of the covenant in Malachi. Who is that? They said no one coming after Elijah, but Malachi clearly tells you that the messenger of covenant will come to Elijah Muhammad's temple. 1 second, brothers and sisters. 1 second here. Who is this messenger of the covenant? See, they can't have you read that stuff because it makes everything crystal clear. Malachi is the one, that's Moses who will come just before the end. Oh no, he happened in the past. It tells you right there. And it says the messenger of the covenant, he's telling you about, right? He's the fulfillment of the covenant. That's the one you delight in. He's the one that's going to fulfill the covenant. And that's all he's going to be talking about is that covenant. That's why I call him the messenger of the covenant. But Elijah would precede him. And there was something happening between Elijah and him that he had to clean up. Because he had to come to Elijah's temple and clean it up. So whose mess he cleaned up? He's saying clean up Elijah's mess? No, he had to clean up Aaron's mess, Farrakhan's mess. It's right there. Can't have you read that. And then it can't have you read about the plague. See, Exodus, first the God Farad, They ain't Elijah. Elijah will have a spokesman that in his absence corrupted the people, had to wander around 40 years. And what happened to his spokesman? To make it clear, him and all his followers was wiped out. Moses had them all killed, all of their families and everything, to make it clear. So who is that? Who that represent? They said, oh, that's Wallace. Wallace ain't around. He hasn't been around for 40 years, and plus he was never Elijah Muhammad's spokesman. Only one was Elijah Muhammad's spokesman was Farrakhan. It's clear, brothers and sisters. I don't have to make this up. I have to distort the scripture like they do. You read the scripture exactly like I'm saying it is. And you don't have to go in and start, oh, they twist it, turn it. No. Exactly like I'm saying it is. Go read it. See, I'm telling you to read. They don't tell you to read it. They tell you to listen to them. Their translation, their interpretation. I don't have to interpret and translate it for you. Just read it. Just read it. If you can read it all, read it. See, if you believe in God's word, you claim you do, you shouldn't have any problem with it. Because it's going to save your life. So why are they talking about it? The priest ain't talked about it. Because that means they've been lying to you. Because they have to explain why didn't get behind Elijah? Who they working for? See? How can they, why are they doing what they're doing? They've been living off you too. See? It says, what it says in Malachi? Will a man rob God? You have robbed me of offerings and carrying on. What are you talking about? Remember, that's the one in between Elijah and Joshua, and the mission of the covenant. Because that's Farrakhan. He's robbing Farad, right? He's robbing Elijah. He's robbing the mission of the covenant because he's taking all for himself. He's exalted himself up. See? Now he's Joshua. He exalted himself. So he's robbing God. He's taking all that, with all the money, everything that people giving him, thinking he's the one. He's not giving anything back. He's not producing anything. He's living off of it. Having fun, going around, running his mouth, talking, hanging around with celebrities. That's what he does, hang around with celebrities and carrying on. He ain't doing anything with black folks, nothing. He hasn't produced one damn thing in 40-some years. He just produced more luxury and comfort for himself. That's all he's ever done. That's all he ever will do. See? I mean, he's robbing God because all that Elijah Muhammad built, that was supposed to be for the people. That was supposed to help them get through this 40 years of darkness. See? And what he did is he turned the light out, took it all for himself, took all the energy for himself. Hey, we don't need any light. I ain't paying for no electricity here. Keep these lights on. Get that money to me. And that's exactly what he's done. Put light on himself, hang around celebrities. He didn't produce a damn thing. And give you all kinds of confusion, Scientology and all this kind of stuff he make up, pull out his behind. Brothers and sisters, this is clear. I have to make this up. You couldn't make this up. This is clear. So if you don't see it because you don't want to see it. Now the demons, they're not going to see it. If they see it, it doesn't matter. We don't want them to see it anyway because that means that gives them more ammunition to come after you. But if you a true seed of Abraham and you don't see this, brother and sister, what happened to you? Because you ain't listening. So that means you'll end up going to a tribulation. See, it says, men is listening to him was saved. It said, only in the Lamb's book of life. Who is this Lamb? Where's his book of life? Do you have it? The Farrakhan, you got the book of life? Farrakhan, did you break the 7 seals? Silas, do you have the book of life? Silas, have you broke the 7 seals? Mr. Royal, have you broken the 7 seals? Do you have the book of life? I mean, where is it? Because you got to be in it. Or you're not getting out of here. And that had nothing to do with the Old Testament. That had nothing to do with the past. That's clearly present. That's what Michael delivers. And they can't say it happened in the past. They don't even say it. They don't even talk about Michael. They can't explain who Michael is. Michael has to be Farad. He's the one to deliver us. There's another God that's going to deliver us. And he says he's not delivering you unless your name's in the book. Like the conductor, you can't get on that train unless you got a ticket. And you got to go to the ticket salesman to get the ticket. If you don't sell your ticket, you're not getting on that train. The conductor is drive the train. Pharaoh is just giving passage. He's providing the vehicle to get out of here. He's providing the transportation. But his lamb is giving out the tickets. And if you don't get a ticket, you're not getting on that. You're not getting out of here. Period. Read the scripture. But again, brothers, this was coming in, and they can't stop it. See? 1990 was the beginning. That's when the seals was broken, and now, the baby is about to be born, and they standing by this. They standing by. Like I said, dragon stood by, devoured the woman as soon as it was born. First to us too. See. So a brief little understanding here about the scripture. See, as the Quran tells you, and the Bible also tells you that the Bible was given to them, which you living on the sealed Bible. The world you see right now came out of the sealed Bible. Capitalism, democracy, abuse of women, all that stuff. You find it right. I can show it to you in the sealed Bible. That was their guidance. The Quran says Adam was given guidance, but he was made to make commission shed blood. So if that's what his purpose is, to make commission shed blood, then he would get a guidance to allow him to be able to be very efficient at doing that. If you make a rat, you want to teach the rat how to be a rat. You're not going to make a rat to teach him how to be a dog. So he said he would receive guidance. That's what the Quran says. So what was the guidance that he received? That's the sealed Bible. It was given to him. It tells you that in both the Bible and the Quran, if you understand it. That's the book that was given to them, the sealed Bible. The Quran was given to the original people, but the sealed Bible was given to them. See? And they would have it, and then at the end, it would be unsealed, which would blow away everything was before it. That's what it says in Revelations. It tells you that once it's unsealed, it's going to blow away this reality. But this reality you're living in right now is their reality. It's based on the word of God. God, this is what God wanted. And so he gave them the guidance to do it. So, how God? Well, if God made the devil, right, that means he meant to be a devil. He made a pig, he meant to be a pig. So you can't say, how a pig eat, right? That pig is nasty. Well, that's the way God made him. And so he made this devil to be the devil he is, because he had a purpose in it. You say, well, did Satan make itself? Did the serpent make itself? You see, read the start Garden of Eden. The serpent was there. Who made him? Who made him like that? So God makes mistakes. That's what you're saying. So, and he gave him guidance. See, he gave him rule, because angels question. That's what God made him. He said, "Are you going to make something that makes mischief and shed blood?" That's what he was made to do, and was given guidance to do it. That's a sealed Bible. It's crystal clear, brothers and sisters. But the Sunnis, they'll never get it, because they're the jinn. They didn't want to resist it. They said, not going to submit to Adam. But we was told, the angels told us to submit to. Say, why would you want to submit to someone that's going to make mischief and shed blood? But God said, I know what you know not. I know what you know not. You see? And then he said he taught Adam. He said, taught him all their names. See? He taught him mathematics. He told him their names. You know, angels didn't know their names. Gabriel and Michael and all didn't know their names. No, he told so genetic names. That's your scientific name. Your real name is your DNA. It's unique to you. And he gave him power. And he powered him to rule for 6 days, for 6 years, 600 years, or 6,000 years. It's right there, brothers and sisters. You don't have to go Elijah Muhammad's teaches right there in the Bible. It's right there in the Quran. For those who want to go to the Quran, no matter how you look at it, it's there. So here we are. Let's come in. But now you see that cyborg, that's that's our enemy. That's their vision. You have two visions. Right now, those are visions. You had a vision of us and our women restored, and you got one stand over us with their vision of this mechanical body, mechanical world. A cyborg is not a robot. It has a biological brain, but it has a mechanical body, and it's standing by to devour us, to destroy our reality. Only both of those realities cannot exist. They not coexist. They cannot coexist. It has to be one or the other. And it's standing by, strong and tall, waiting, right? Destroy our reality. To bring in their reality. See? So we have to destroy their reality or they destroy our reality. So they decide to destroy our reality because they do not have to live in a biological world with that body because that's machine body. The only thing biological about is the brain. And they already perfect all kinds of methods to reproduce itself, cloning, all kinds of ways, but reproduce itself if necessary to do that. They're perfecting all this stuff in the background. That's electromagnetic mechanical body. Implants, they're talking about brain implants. That means they can perceive anything they want to perceive. This world could be a desert, and they can make it look like a paradise in their mind, right? When you dream, don't you dream things that's not reality? So they mass turn your dreams, right, to you. That looks real. Have you had dreams that look absolutely real? That you thought took a long time? When in reality, most dreams last only a few seconds. This is the situation we are right now. We're bringing in, we're being born, bring this new reality back, clean it up, and they're standing by to stop it and bring in their biological reality, by their mechanical reality. Bam. That's their solution. That's why I talk atomic war. That's why that's their last resort. They're polluting the planet, but they're literally talking about atomic war now. Nuclear war with Russia and China. They're actually talking about it, not sanctions. They're talking about they expect to be a war sometime this year. I mean, I got the videos to show it. I'm not asking me talking. That's them talking. They're generals. They're statesmen. Vladimir Putin talking about nuclear war in America if they move their ships into the Black Sea. The president of China, if America doesn't get out of the China Sea and leave them alone, because they're going to take Taiwan, right? There'll be nuclear war. As they talk about, America's talking about it. The generals in America talk about they expect that there may be a nuclear war with China and Russia anytime this year. So why would they be talking about such madness? They're not talking about stopping it. That's the anticipation, the expectation. That's what they're talking about. Why? Because when everything else fails, they understand what's going on. That's why you understand what's going on now. They know about 1619, 2019. They know about it. Remember I told you, Judaism, those people born with it. They come in the womb, they're taught that. So they knew exactly what that meant. They knew exactly what it meant. And so now they got two minds. One is they're scared to death. Let's be nice to black folks now. Let's be nice. Because God's on their ass. He's coming after them. So let's try to be nice. Let's try to buy them out. See, let's be nice to our captives because the evidence is right here. They got the evidence. I mean, here they are. They're living in a home, a land that they stole. So they're living on stolen property. So that's evidence right there, right? I mean, this is not there. They stole it. And what did they do to the people they stole it from? They buried them in the basement. I mean, they buried them out in the backyard. So the evidence is right there. So they didn't think God was going to show up. And then they got the people they kidnapped, they got them tied down in the basement. And so now they want to go, hey, don't press charge. We're going to be nice to you now. Can we give you compensation? So pay you off for, will you accept this as pay for what we did to you? See, because when the judge comes, they're going to say, hey, they accept this as payment for what we did to them. We sell this. You understand what's going on, brothers and sisters? Because they're scared. Those are the ones that's running scared. Oh, let's defund the police. Let's be nice now. See, let's marry. Let's have, let's make like we all think one people now. Why? This wasn't happening a year before. All this stuff started happening when the plague came in. Why? Understand the connection. All this stuff wasn't happening until that plague rolled in. All of a sudden, the whole demeanor changed. The whole ideology changed. Everything. Oh, we was racist. Our parents was racist. America was racist. No good. See, we haven't been treating black people right. We're confessing. See, but now we want to be your friend. We want to help you. See, we want to give you reparations. We want to buy you out. That's a fool's errand. And you got fire covenant going along with that. Because if you settle with them, you have a covenant with God. That's why I said your covenant with death will not stand. Because you got a covenant with God and the payment for what you suffered for 400 years here. And now they're trying to buy out that payment. They're trying to say, hey, you take separation. So now they say sell. So God comes and say, hey, wait, hey, they paid us. So, hey, because that's the judgment. That year, that would be the judgment. 2020 would be their first judgment. They're trying to get out of it. They're trying to get you dumb enough to let them get out of it. And Farrakhan's going along with it because he's one of them. He's a demon. You know what a demon is? Demon is someone who has a European father and a other than European mother. That's a demon. Half devil, half man. See? That's what you understand scripture. That's what it tells you. I mean, that's big enough. Devil, demon, demon. See? So he's not going to tell you the truth. He's trying to tell you, yeah, take the reparations. See, take to some states or something. So is that going to save you? Because they're going to war. And the states, the Americans almost virtually out of topsoil. So what's that going to do you? I mean, I'm not going to all these stuff about reparations. They're trying to buy you out. Then you got the other group. Let's get rid of them. Let's get rid of evidence quick. They can't get rid of, they can't get rid of the fact that he's still in the home, but they can get rid of dead bodies. They got dead bodies out there in the backyard, and they got these captives down there in the basement. Just get rid of them. At least the only thing we'd be guilty of, right, is still in the home, still in the land. See? So we can withstand the punishment on that one. But we don't know anything about. Remember, Farad had to go searching for us. See, they had us die down, deep, down in the basement. Why would he have to go looking? It should have been worldwide information that was down here. He had to go look for us. That's what's going on, brothers and sisters. So therefore, if they can't, that second group, just because that's what they want anyway. But they're not quite ready for it. That's why it says Farad moved before they was fully ready. Because that's what they're trying to get to that level where they can produce that body. They're very close to it. But once they do that, they do not need this biological world anymore. Do not need it. And that way it can blow us away. Because they know either we go or they go. They blow away this world. That's why I tell them nuclear war. They do not. That machine body will not need biological. They're already making food out of chemicals and things. They don't need real food. They can make food out of chemicals. They're telling you on TV. They tell you they can make food out of chemicals. And they put implants so you don't need a cell phone. You can talk to somebody, you don't need a cell phone. They put implants to make you think and feel any way they want you to think and feel. They got drugs to make you feel any kind of way they want you to feel. They do all this stuff. Do not need they do not need a biological world anymore. See, because the biological world, they're at war with the biology. They're at war with the biological world. You see, they fighting it all the time. They corrupting it and messing it up because they don't understand it. So they're evil to it. That's what evil is when you out of sync with something. You're adverse to it, right? You're inconsistent with it, and they destroying the destroying it. They can't help it. So you get rid of it. And then they can bring in their mechanical world with their robots and stuff. Look, if you're looking around you, driverless cars. You've been to Walmart lately, you know. Now they got things where you go and shopping and stuff, and you go shopping and stuff, and they don't need you don't need a card anymore. Use your fingerprint. See, it's all about racism. See, because they said they evolved. That this is evidence they evolved and we didn't. So they moved on to the next level, and the next level to them is this mechanical level, AI. And we're still back here playing games, watching NBA, NFL, because that's the way they see it. It's wrong, but that's the way they see it. It's not wrong for them. See, because you prove that you animal, that you haven't evolved, because it's just like a dog. You go tell a dog, I'm gonna put you down. See, or a horse, I'm gonna take and turn you into soap, and the horse just wagging his tail, and the dog just, oh yeah, licking you and everything. That proved that it's an animal. He don't know what the hell's going on. And they telling you right in front of your face everything they're going to do to you, what they're doing to you, and you still sitting around here, hey man, you know, give me one of them hot, give me some more chitlins, you know, give me a Big Mac, you know, turn on the NBA, NFL, and all around you, you see they're destroying you. Look at it, look at the Democratic Party. I mean, they're destroying your children, and more than 22 million is counting. And you talking about democracy? Democracy depends on the majority wins. So how in the hell does that make any sense if you aborting your child on the way to vote? How does that make any sense? You're aborting your child on the way to vote. So you just killed your vote on the way to vote. Because if they didn't have abortion in this country, black folks would probably be outnumbered white folks by now. Because already 22 million, already aborted 22 million. That means there'd be 22 million more black folks around right now. But they would have had children too, right? So you might say, so you're talking about it's about 34 million now, plus 22, that's over 50-some million right there. And if you could easily double that. So if you had 100 million black people in America, and they're not reproduced as fast, what kind of political power you think you would have then? You would control it. That's why I said they had to abort you. That's one of the things that they have to do. This right there, brothers and sisters. So, what happens to you if you hang with Farrakhan and you a true see Abraham? The rest of you Exodus tells you what happened to you. And if you, right, and not only that, but read about Malachi, right? Read about Daniel, right? You're gonna be left behind to go through tribulation. It's real clear. You ain't gonna. You don't have to argue. You don't get slide rule on this one, right? You don't need a slide rule, a computer, a laptop, a abacus, you know, any of that. Calculate anything. It's right there. Very simple, brothers and sisters. Okay, we're gonna talk about the main subject here, and at least one of the main subjects. But let me go back to this for a second. This needs to be said. A race war is brewing. Anyone can see it. A race war is brewing. There will be a race war in America before year's end. There will be a race war in America. A race war. Not riots, a race war. They're planning it, and you don't understand. It says with the plans they have, they said it would not be obvious. Let's deal shrewdly with them. That means in clandestine, in the darkness, where they can't understand it. That's why I said this. It says that day will come as a snare upon those dwelling upon the earth. That means a snare for you. That means you don't see it coming, but you get caught up in it. And when you're caught in a snare, they don't catch you in a snare You understand? So they can kiss you and hug you. They can stare, right? Say kill you or eat you. That's the reason for you set up a snare. Kill you or eat you. And based on the situation that's going to America's under judgment now and plaguing, it probably be to eat you because they're going to be a fierce food shortage in a few more days. This plague is not going away, hasn't gone away, and the fact that they easing up in the middle of it, right, shows they open up the door for it to blow away, to really blow away this country. Because now they're saying, oh, well, you take the vaccine, and that's another story altogether. But you still got a social distance, all that kind of stuff. What's the point of taking the vaccine? There's more to it than meets the eyebrow, so let's not go into that. See, but why also they want you to take this vaccine? Well, you gotta take it. You gotta take it. They got all the stars out. See, but with the people that's taking it, the people that you know, DMX, Hank Aaron, right? What's the other one? Hearns. There was just three of them. All of them died, and they don't tell you on that. They say, oh, it was this or that, but the family are putting them out. Hitman Hearns exposed that one, and the family of DMX exposed that one. That's a lie. I'm not sure about Hank Aaron. I think his family out of that one too. No. See. So all of a sudden, see, but it's all about racism because they declared war on us 500 years ago. Dr. Yakub set them up 6,000 years ago, but they declared open season on all the races 500 years ago. Now they're talking about, well, we're not racist. We're not racist, and racism is not systemic. You know what systemic is not the same thing as systematic. Systemic is worse than systematic. You can systematically do something, but systemic means part of your nature. When they say it's systemic racism in America, that means it's the nature of America. See, you get it wrong. People get it wrong. They get mixed two terms, but they still you understand it even without mixing the terms up. Systemic means it's the nature of America, racism, and it is. It's the nature of the European country. They declared race war 500 years ago because they didn't attack each other. They didn't take each other's land. They was poor. They had destroyed Europe, right? They destroyed the topsoil. They didn't know what to do. They were starving over there, especially like Ireland, places like that. They were starving. They had plagues and everything over there. Those plagues had come from them. Black plague and stuff wasn't all over the world. It was them. Filthy and nasty. All the plague you see in the world came from them. That would say from Adam. This Adam came sin to the world. All that sin, that came from them. With their dogs and carrying on. That came from them. See, so they was plagued over there. It was suffering plagues, diseases, smallpox, and everything else. They were starving. They destroyed their own home. And so they went out trying to take everybody else's stuff. Now they're destroying the whole world. They're spreading plagues and stuff all over the world now. And they already ripped America off, right? Because America's topsoil is very deep. Now it's very low. You need topsoil. You just can't put seeds in the ground and grow. It needs topsoil. And now almost all topsoil in America almost gone. That's a big story right there. Because what's going on? See, now they find out that what's going on, and they hide it, but they've been going over to Africa. These weak-kneed kings over there, right? Rulers, they're getting them to sell their people because they're taking and harvesting their topsoil. They're harvesting their topsoil because Africa got the most topsoil on the planet right now. They're harvesting their topsoil. And they bring it over here and using it so they can keep growing food. So now you can expect famines and stuff happen. That's why a lot of famine stuff happening in Africa right now. Africa shouldn't have any famines and things like that. Never had it before because they're taking the topsoil. Now nothing will grow. And so they bring over here so they keep growing. And so now China's going out trying to do the same thing. And now every time a ruler ever find out, step up and try to stop it, they kill them. Because they don't want people to know what they're doing. And Farrakhan tell you, no, we want some land over here. So you're going to be party of that? See, if you buy into America, that means you're party to what they've done. So that means now you share. That's why it says, what does it say? It says, come out of her, my people, that you and I share in her plagues. What you mean share? Because if you're part of it, then you're going to share in it because you buy into it. If you go in there and you receive stolen goods, that means that you part of it. You got to suffer with the people. That's even by their law. So if you're going to take this reparations and you be voting and all that kind of stuff, that means you sharing in their pain because you're part of it. Because if you vote, right, that means you're saying that whatever decision they make, right, you're part of it because you participate in it. So they're going to invade a country and you voted for these people. That means they're acting on your behalf. They say, come out of my people. It's like right time, me come out. Just listen to him. That's coming out. No, say, get the hell out of here. Leave him alone. Totally. That's what Elijah Muhammad taught. Total separation. He said, you'd be a fool to want to stay here in the land of your imprisonment. That's what Elijah Muhammad said. I got the proof of it. I got the tape. Him said, not no something written down. Rather say here. Because he's one of them. He's a demon. It follows the devil. It says, come out of my people. Come out. All the way out. That's what it says in Exodus. It says the plagues are designed to drive you out all together out. Not to some 6 states or something. Totally back to the promised land. When they have milk and honey. Is America a place of milk and honey? See, you better understand, brothers and sisters. Racism is the nature of this beast. We've been living with this. We've been living with a beast. A beast. We live with a beast. That's why the Bible calls it a beast. The Quran calls it a beast. It says, I raised up from earth a beast that will speak to you, a speaking beast. They're beasts. They live like a beast. They act like a beast, right? They sleep with dogs and carry on. They are beasts. And we've been living with the beast for 40 years. Or more than 40 years now, because we came over here, but it took 64 years to enslave us, so it's been over 20 years now, 500 years. See? So racism is the nature of this whole situation, and they're not going to give it up because that's how the American powerful, right? They took everything from the people that was living here, and then they took us, took everything from us, everything, our humanity, everything. They took our humanity, everything from us. Even at death, they give no humanity because they chop you up and feed you dogs and pigs, turn you to dog shit and pig shit. That's where they feed you. That's where you end up, right? They even give you a curse of burial. That's how vicious we were living in the beast. And now he tells people we need to forgive them and be with them. And that's not what the lessons say. In fact, we're going to bring them to the NOI. You want to bring them to the NOI? Can't you listen to this clown? Do you listen to him? Do you listen to what he's saying? He's saying we came over here, but we don't have a reward. We came over here because we were sinful. That's what he's saying. Why is he saying that? That's not what Elijah Muhammad taught. That's not what Farah taught. Because he's absolving our oppressors, his daddy. Because if we came over evil, then there's nothing wrong with them. There's no judgment for them. Because they was just doing God's will. They was punishing us. Just like you go to jail, prison, right? You can't blame the God for punishing you, but that's their job to do that. See, so in other words, what happened to us over here was justified because we were self to be punished. That means the devils ain't devils anymore. See, that's why he say ain't devils anymore. Do you understand what he's saying to you? Because he's one of them. And he figures that if you were stupid enough to say Elijah Muhammad, he's definitely stupid enough to listen to that garbage he's talking about. And in some ways, he's right. Because if you listen to him, you got to be stupid, dumber than him. And he's dumb, but he's smarter than you. And he's going to meet his fate. He's already been punished one time. That's the story about Balaam. He's the ass that Pharaoh was right on. That got punished 3 times. First was that embowelment. Second is about to happen, universal humiliation. And then finally, a very destruction. But racism, do not be deceived. Racism is how the Europeans got power, but they didn't take each other's land. They go out and take anybody in the European land? No, they went out and took everybody's land, took everybody's stuff all over the world, not their own. That means that's racism. They declared war against the races 500 years ago. And we're still at war now. And they're not going to give it up. To give it up means they have to go back, give everything back to the Native Americans, restore us back to where we came from, and then take their behind back to Europe. If it was their ideology, their capitalism, all that kind of stuff that was so great, this ideology, then they should still be great when they get back there, right? So why didn't he take everything from everybody else? That's racism. You better understand what racism is. They're not giving it up. You can talk all this crap, defund the police, and all that kind of stuff. You see here, this is the end result. So if they can't take and convince you, get God off their ass, and convince you to go along with the program, then that's the end result. They're going to take But that's the end result anyway. But they're going to go nuclear. See, they're going to achieve that result anyway. But they can't receive it. They can't do it in their timetable. Let's go nuclear. But it's not going to work. See, because fraud has a plan. They have a plan. When they go pull that trigger for that, it's not going. It's going. Pull blanks. It's another story, brothers and sisters. Racism, systemic, capitalism, usury. It says, Quran says, Allah is at war with the usurers. That means it's Lord America. It's at war with America. What do you think capitalism is? I'm not going into all the details about all that stuff right here today, brothers and sisters. I talked about it in other presentations. But here we're going to talk about something else here. This sixth trumpet, see, he releases these four winds. See, four angels. Now, who are these four angels? They're the first four trumpets. The first four trumpets released by a sixth trumpet. See, the first trumpet falls the fifth one. And then the sixth one released the first four. See, if you don't understand the angel, you don't understand that. See, everybody thinks it's the first 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5. No, it tells you the sixth one is holding back the first four. See? And he's holding it, and said they were prepared to, see, when you understand, they were prepared, right, into the hour, day, month, and year. So what does that mean? So that means the time frame when they were supposed to do this. But they was held back by the sixth one. So there was a brief period that was held back, but they was supposed to be released, right? They was prepared, right, to do their damage, right, into the hour, day, month, and year. See, and then it tells you the 200 million man army that's connected with this. But I'm not going into that detail. That's something I can't really talk about right now, because if I tell you, I'm telling them. But as I said, we get closer and closer and closer, process. I'll make it clearer and clearer to you. So this point in time, if you understand the angel, this point in time right here is where we are right now. Where we are right now in time. See, they're just about to go to war. The Shia, which I have as a rod right there, right? They're Michael's angels. They're putting pressure on America, false Israel, and Britain. They're claiming that they're going to start enriching 60%, where false Israel is having an epiphany over it. I mean, is over there. They have they just come discombobulated. They having a fits over there, right? See, because they say, hey man, because they was Americans, they was getting 20%. Now they're going to 60. So they said they don't care what Biden do if they get the agreement or not. They're still going to take them out. And they've been rocket attacks and everything, but hitting each other with boats and all that kind of stuff. They haven't tell you wars about to happen. And they're fighting about this JCPOA, which according to Angel, they're not going back to it, because Angel says they can go one way, they can go backwards back to it, or they can go forward into war. And Angel says they're going to war. And I say, watch the JCPOA. So we're going to follow this. It says, in the day, hour, month, day, and year. So what does that mean? That's some kind of time frame. So let's figure out what that means. See, because this is where we are right now, and that's the four. That's also the four winds. So I put it right here again. They were loose. The four angels have been prepared to the hour, the day, month, and year. They killed a third of men. Very destructive. So what does the hour, day, month, and year mean? Okay, hour, day, month, and year. Okay, we look at chapter 11. Now, if we look at chapter 11, right, we see months are talked about there at top. After that is days, and then hour. So that's hour, days, and month. In the same sequence, just a different reverse order, right? So read from the bottom, hour, days, right, and month. So in that chapter, all three are referenced, hour, days, and months. And that's the 11th chapter. So does this have something to do with that? Because there's another chapter that these three are referenced, all three, in the same chapter, and it's definitely not in that sequence, same sequence, just reverse order. Hour, days, month. Month, days, hour. Okay? So that's chapter 11. Okay? So let's see, let's follow this, see if we can solve this mystery here. Now we look at chapter 20. And chapter 20, the only chapter that mentions year, other than chapter 9, which talks about that talks about the year, month, day, and year. Only one, that's the only chapter you find the mention of year in it. Chapter 20. That's the only one you map. And it's mentioned 6 times. Thousand years, 6 times. So it's talking about how long the devil had. See, this chapter 20 gives you everything from Prophet Muhammad up until the end. So you read chapter 20, so-called millennia, they tell you that's going to happen in the future. No, that happened in the past. That was talking about the resurrection. That was the Islamic resurrection of the Prophet Muhammad 1,400 years ago. See? And they cast, because you understand that, you understand who the devil, Satan, all them is, because they was cast in the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. That was after, because when Prophet Muhammad came on the scene, right, and Islam was resurrected, right, because Islam was here with Abraham, so it wasn't just, that's maybe why it was resurrected, just start from the beginning. They try to tell you Islam started with Prophet Muhammad. No, it was resurrected because that's the same religion Abraham had. See? So, and it says he would lock them up for 1,000 years. So once Islam was revived, right? It threw the Europeans, the racists, into 1,000-year dark ages. That's exactly what it's talking about here. There was like, so who was that? They call them Satan, the devils. So now you know who they are. And they'll be bound for 1,000 years. After 1,000 years, that's millennia. And they were exactly in the Middle Ages for 1,000 years, so-called medieval time, exactly 1,000 years. But 1,000 years later, they came out and says they would go out and do what? Cover the whole world. That's exactly what they did, because they didn't know about the whole world before that. They did not know, Europeans did not know about the whole world before that. And that's why they come in and call them Gog and Magog to America and Britain. They would go out and see the whole world. See the whole world how? By making you think that this is in the future. Because if you understood it was in the past, then that right, if you understand that was in the past, you understand this chapter in the past, you don't need Exodus. You don't need the Quran. You don't need left. Because right here, that will tell you who the devil, Satan, all them is right there. See how clear this is? So if they tell you it's in the future, then you don't go looking. Because you say, oh, that's future, I ain't worried about it. But if you know it's in the past, you go back and like, what, anything happens in the past? You know, well, Islam, oh, that's God's religion. And the devil and Satan, those ones the Europeans. And they was locked up in dark age for 1,000 years. And now they come out, and now they control the whole world. Because only two empires that control the entire world in Dr. Yaqub's history. In the last 6,000 years, only two empires. There's the British Empire, the sun never sets on the British Empire, and the American Empire. Only two. Nobody else. Not China, not Rome, not Persia, no one. Just American Britain. That's Gog and Magog. Brother, it's clear. So if you confuse, that's up to you. And if you understand and you don't get behind this message, then you might as well don't understand. Because again, you better be in that book of life, right? And it's just reference here, right? I say Farad, right? He's Balaam. And his ass he was sitting on was Farrakhan. See? And the angel he saw was Sunnism. He wouldn't obey Farad. He wasn't afraid of Farad's teaching. He was afraid of the Sunnis. So he kept obeying them. So it was chastised with disembowelment. And you got 2 more coming. As that is, I'm just look at that. Because see Sunnism right here, little segue here. Everyone, if you see this, let's see if I can see my cursor here. If you can see this, right? Okay, you got one like a lion, one like, so in other words, is each one, I don't have it set like that way. I got it moving forward in time. But when it's set up like the beginning, the top here, all the red ones will be up top here. That would be the lion. See, that would be what Obama is. See, I'm not getting to that because I really blew a lot of your way. You love Obama so much, he didn't give a damn about you. He didn't give a damn about his own kids, right? I mean, his kids, Obama grew up a Muslim, his father was a Muslim. And he started eating pork and everything so he could run president. So he fed his kids pork that he knew good and damn well that stuff was no good for his kids, but he wanted to be president. So why would you poison your children like that? If he didn't give a damn about his children, you think he'd give a damn about you? And then his daughters, right, was allergic to dogs, like I am, and almost killed me 3 times before I found out. I was about 50 years old when I finally found out that was really killed because I almost died. I had been in the hospital a couple of times, almost near death. But I didn't know it was that was the cause. A lot of children are dying because of dogs, and they don't realize they call all kinds of crazy names, but because they don't want to put those dogs away because they're allergic to dogs and they think they have pneumonia or something. And so his children was allergic like that. And instead of him going and getting rid of the dog, he went and got him some shots. That stuff is cancerous. Give him some shots. And so it wouldn't bother him. He just cover it up. He didn't get rid of it. Just cover it up. And he did that to his children. You think he'd give a damn about you? And then he went out to Flint, Michigan, right? There's people out there. He didn't do anything about that. Kids were being destroyed with lead poisoning. He knew about it and didn't do anything. He called it mercy, nothing. Then he goes out there finally after a lot of pushback on him. I got the tape. You go out and Google it. And he says they give a talk. He said, "Oh, man, this water's okay. Bring me a glass of water." They bring him a glass of that water. He stuck his tongue in it. Watch the video. This water's okay, and got out of town. Those people that say he better never bring his ass back to no more. He never did anything. Those kids still stuff from lead poison and everything else. Anyway, so each one is like the calf. The calf is here, and then it'll be death down here, and then down here will be the flying eagle, right? But each one has 6 wings. So the top wing of each one is golden, because the top wing is the Islamic part of it. So if you understand that here's the calf, the Islamic part of the Asian would be the Sunnis, the Arabs. So that's how you get the golden calf. See, that Sunniism is the golden calf. Anyway, so I thought I'd put that on to you. So here we go. So now we say chapter 20 is where years is mentioned, and chapter 11 is where the other part, a day, month, and hour. So there what you got. You got 2011. 2011. November 2020. That's when this is supposed to happen. That's what it's saying. If I got it right here, I'm just breaking the puzzle down, right? See? Because you're trying to figure, what does that mean? Because the only 2 chapters is mentioned like that, in that same order, is 20 and 11. That's when it's supposed to happen if you come at it from a different way, but I'm not going to go there, right? If you talk about it from about the witnesses, chapter 11 also gives a time frame, if you follow the time frame, you still come up to November 2020. I remember last year I was telling about what's happened 2011, November 20, that's going to change the world. Now, one thing was that Trump was elected. Nobody was expecting that. Trump was, Biden was elected. No one was expecting that. And I'm not going to really chime on that, but anybody got any sense, any mathematics know that fool did not win that election. Anyway, so where we at here? Okay. So that's that. So what? But it said it was held back. So then we go in here, and if we watch, I'm gonna go this quickly, right? You go to the 7 seals. So we're talking about the first 6 seals, right? The first 6. If you look at the first one, you hear something. The second one, you hear something. The third one, you hear something. The fourth one, you hear something. But the fifth, you don't hear anything. You don't hear anything in the fifth one. Just read it. I don't care what version you get, it's still going to say the same thing. He doesn't hear anything. He says, I heard. He doesn't hear anything. But then he hears something in the sixth one. So there was silence in the fifth one. But the sixth one is where the war starts, because it says a great shaking occurred. That shaking means war. That's when the war started. We opened 6 seal, great shaking. That means that's the war in the Middle East. So in other words, this silence preceded it. This silence preceded it. So that means November, it was supposed to, right? But it was held back with silence. And said silence occurred for approximately half an hour, which half an hour represents 1 year. So that means approximately 5 to 7 months. Here it is again, right? See, silence between the sixth seal and the fourth seal. In other words, the fifth seal was silence. So there's silence that precedes the war. A period of silence. See, period of silence. And right here it says, whenever you open up the seventh seal, occurs silence in heaven. It's half an hour. Let me move this over here so you can see it a little better. So here it says, whenever he opened up the seal of seven, occurs silence in heaven as half an hour. The silence, half an hour represents our rest about a year, so between 5 and 7 months, there'd be silence. So we go from November 11th, November 2020, right? Then the silence should occur. It should be 7 months from there. So if you count it from there, you say, well, how you gonna count it? Let's take the worst case, right? November to December to January to February to March, April, May, June. That's the very worst case. That means the war will start in June. The best case would be, right, November to December to January, February to March, April. That's 5. So between April and June. So April's almost over. So that means between here and June. Make it happen any day now. So somewhere in between there. So the only one who knew the exact date was Farad. Only the father knew. He's David. Suleiman is just the son. See, that's when you understand David is actually Farad. So I thought I'd point out to you, brothers and sisters, so you can study for yourself. What's talking about? You got the worst case, best case, and the worst case. Best case is April. That means you can start in April because we're in April now. May, the worst case, right? Be in June. But the war is going to start. And once it starts, right, your life will change dramatically. So I'm talking about right here, see? To November 2020, right? 5 to 7 months, that's a silence. So it'd be, here we go. You're talking April, May, or June. One of those. And then the war. Here's the war, right? So in other words, this is the position they're in right now. The rod represents Michael's angels or Farad's angels, the Shia. They're pushing against America and Britain and false Israel, right? Okay. Bam. There's the war. At the same time, Suleiman, or the Messenger of Covenant, comes to NOI, and that's when they accept him, because he comes to save their ass then. See, maybe a 5-month period where he prepares them for the tribulation. But during that 5-month period, right, this is what's going to happen. Because as soon as this happens here, that's when America and false Israel and Britain's kicked out, right? False Israel can't be kicked out if they live there, right? So for them, let me change this again. For them, like Daniel tell you, they lay siege to and take it. And it'll be a horrible day for them. But America and false Israel, America and Britain's kicked out. See, that's what represents here. So they've been kicked out. So now the Shia is in control of the Middle East. Control all of it. All of it. Arabia, everything. Controls all of it. And they cut off the spigot to Europe. That's why it's chapter 18, right? European economy collapsed overnight. Because they totally depended on oil there, but they was helping America and Britain, right, and false Israel when they attacked, when they went to war with Iran. And so they cut off the spigot. And all of a sudden, the economy collapsed overnight. See? And at that time, that's when Suleiman comes, right? So then why he went the first time, they reject him. They accept it now because Farrakhan, that's what said, the Ancient of Days sets. So Farrakhan and his demons and everything, they kicked out. So And this is where it says Babylon falls, right? And the city, great city, talking about Britain thrown into the sea. See, you see a foot there, that's also a sea. So let's talk about chapter 18. So it said 1 year, right? One day, 1 year, all the calamities, everything's gonna come on them. So now they're fighting. You see America, there's a war with Russia and EU. The EU is gonna turn on them. That's it. NATO allies, they're gonna turn on them. America will be at war with them. And also war with China and North Korea. Because the Britain's at war with them, they're at war with them. America's at war with them. So God can make our meet their fate together. So they're at war. And also, this is what's going to happen. Bam. That's when the four winds blow. Because when they go to war like that, they're also going to attack black people. And that's when, because right now you see a race war brewing. You see these black Christians and everything, they're really upset. They want more people. They don't want to go anywhere. They're demons. They're demons. They're master children, house Negroes. The angel tells us half the black people in America are demons. Through rape and everything else, it says half. And the lesson tell you how many it would be, 17 million. See, they don't understand those lessons. So right now, you got 34 million people, black people in America. And the angel says half of them are demons. That's what's talking about 11, because there wasn't 17 million blacks back then in the 20s and 30s. There wasn't. So check this, the census. There wasn't. Talking about now, because only 17 million that's seed of Abraham. And here of the 17 million, that's what angel tells us, are demons. And now, when this happens, they're going to attack both. Then that's the war. It's going to be a race war here in America. They're going to attack us and they're going to attack back. Not only that, but you got all kinds of religious problems, because now false Israel is taken down, and that whole idea of setting a false Israel is to prove that they was true to seed Abraham. And the whole idea is once they were set up, that's according to the covenant, they would never be put down. So now they put down, so it proves they're true, they're not, because they're no more. So that means we true to seed Abraham. So now you got evangelicals going crazy. It's going to be a total mess, total confusion here in America. And so now they know the ones that, you got two brands. You got ones, man, we got to be nice to them. And the other says, we got to get rid of them. So they're going to attack. See, we've been in defensive mode. We're not going to war yet. We're going to be in defensive mode. But the demons, they're going to war. See, because now the winds are blowing. America's under attack. America's fighting overseas. They're going to want these demons to go to war. See, they're going to cast the river. That's me. Abortion and cast the river. They're going to try to get them to go to help them in this war. And they're going to refuse. So they're going to try to round them up just like they did Japanese back. They did the Japanese. Don't they do it to you? There's going to be total warfare. Nothing like you ever seen before. Not riots. Not anything like happened with George Floyd. This is going to be open warfare. Race warfare in America. In a few days, once those four winds blow, and we saw the four winds going to blow between now and June. Open warfare, race warfare in America. At the same time, America is being getting their ass kicked over in Europe. They already got kicked out of the Middle East and getting their ass kicked over in the Orient. And when they get their ass up against the wall, when they have no place else to go, and they finally pull that trigger, right? Go nuclear, they finally got blinks. Farage defamed them. That's why he got his planes all over their sites and everything. And so now all the enemies coming after them with nuclear weapons, they have none. Now I said they're strong men, they're great men will be hiding in the alleyways, holding their groins. It says, why is every man in alleyways holding their groins? They scared as hell. Because they know now God's after them, and God sent all the enemies after them, and everything is after them. And now they know. That's that men's hearts be failing for fear of those things they see coming. Anticipation. Their hearts going to be failing out of anticipation that was coming. So we think they're going to be doing once it gets here. And we talking about weeks away, maybe less. It's time to go home, brothers and sisters. Farrakhan and them is cast out. See, at this point, right, they're cast out. So they're going to be with the demons. And they're going to literally tear this country apart for 5 months. And after that 5 months, if I had it here, now let me back up. After that 5 months, that's when we delivered. But after that 5 months, everybody comes against the harvest, talking about the separated chaff from the wheat. Because after that, it's going to be so bad, all black folks unite. And that's what Suleiman will say, no, we don't want you. We don't want you, King James. We don't want you, Oprah. We don't want you, Farrakhan. We don't want none of you house Negroes. See? Because you're the chaff. See, you as master's children. House Negroes, we don't want you. And they're separated out. See? And then so you have two groups. Remember I said one on the right hand, one left hand? See? That's what's talking about Daniel, where it says Michael, right? He delivered. Who delivered? Those in the book. Those ones delivered. Who's left behind? Those two on the left hand and right hand. The chaff and the wheat. Right? But the chaff to everlasting life, the chaff to everlasting shame and appallment, and the wheat to everlasting life. But it's still left behind. These got to go through tribulation because they failed. The Levites, they failed their mission. They're supposed to repair a bridge between Elijah and Suleiman, right? And Joshua. Instead, they built mansions for Aaron, Lion Farrakhan. They were deceived. So now, because when Moses came back, right, what he says, those with the Lord come with me. Those with Joshua, those with Solomon come with me. And those with Aaron, right, they separated them out and they killed them all, their children, their family, everybody. And then the priesthood was given to the rightful owner, Joshua, right? And then he led the people back home. That's the story, brothers and sisters. So it's up to you. It's your life you're playing with. So you can take the scene right and go first class. That's up to you, brothers and sisters. Because it's a free gift. Nobody's charging anything. We're getting you free water, clean water, living water. And we're not charging you anything. Nobody's telling you anything. All it says is an invitation. Come on, brother. It says, come out of my people. Come out of her, my people. So you don't share her plagues and everything. It's a free gift. Just come on out, brothers and sisters. You already paid the price. Now's your reward. Nobody's telling you what to do. Just come on out. We're going home. You ain't got to pay anything. Nobody's saying, you got to give me money. Nobody asked you for any money. Nobody asked you to tell you to do anything. We ain't even tell you how to dress or anything. We ain't worried about how you dress right now. We're about getting your ass home. We're about that when we get there. So how can you get upset about a free gift? Well, okay. Well, if you want to pay for it, if you insist on paying for it, then you can pay for it. You go to tribulation. If you insist on paying, you already paid the price. So you want to pay extra? Okay, you're fine. You can pay extra. Because you already paid the price. You paid for it in years. You have fulfilled your part of the agreement. Farah came to fulfill his part. And he said, Elijah Muhammad, right, to sit there and notarize it, make sure you understood, you understand, that Farah is coming to fulfill his part of the agreement. And you fulfilled your part, so now it's time to go home. So you fulfill your part. Nobody's calling you sinful. Nobody's judging you. Nobody's pointing a finger at you. Nobody's saying, man, you've been eating no pork. We don't care what you've been eating, right? You don't be eating over there because there won't be no pork to eat anyway. All we want you to go home. You already paid the price. All the sin and all the stuff's on you, right? It's them. It says, bless those keep their garments. That means you still in captivity. All the sins that you accumulate up to this point is on them. But once you hear this message and then you reject it, then now you start adding this. Then you start accumulating those sins. But until you hear it, all the sins are before that. Like it says, though it was dark as night, right? It's dark as cold or whatever, right? They'd be white as snow because they're washed away. Because you was told to submit and you did. So we can't blame you for doing what we told you, you know, what you was told to do. So everything that you was told to do, they tell you to do. So if you did what they tell you to do, then it's on them. You are sinless before us. You're beautiful. We love you. And we're not judging you. We want to get you home, brothers and sisters. Because once you get home, you'll be okay. Land of milk and honey, away from these devils. Okay, brothers and sisters, hope you understand. Okay, I want to talk about this briefly, then we're going to close out. Scientology and Dianetics. I talked about it the other day. I want to say a couple more things. I might not have made it clear enough, right? So let's talk about a couple things here. Your heart takes all the experience that you have in your life because they're emotional. And it impacts your heart. See? And then it goes to your heart, sends a signal to your brain to figure it out. But your heart is like a shock absorber. So it takes all the shocks. See? That's why you'd be broken. It's talking about you broken heart and all that kind of stuff. Something happened, you was molested when you were a child, this happened to you, you lost your parents. So all that's impacting your heart. And then you send it to your brain, you figure it out, and then you store its memories. But your heart is still one impacted. If you're fast, if you're a sudden sound, your heart stopped beating first, and then you look around trying to figure out what's going on. So your heart was impacted first. I'm not going into details about that. You understand? But anyway, so that's what your heart start looking like after a while. Some of your hearts look worse than that. So you act you feel bad, you're upset all the time, you got mood swings, all this kind of stuff. You're hateful, you're sad, regrets, all that kind of stuff. Because that's your heart. Heart is almost just torn apart, so it's out of control. Your emotions is total chaos. Your emotional wreck. You're bipolar and all this kind of stuff, your emotional wreck. Because you packed all that stuff. So what do you do about it? So the Scientology come tell, well, you go and you do sessions, you go to ordering, you talk about, then you're going to take all those dents and put off on somebody else. See? But it doesn't work that way because all you're doing is covering it up with putty or whatever, you're putting it up. See, I mean, you can't do that to this. Obviously, that's not work with this thing. I'm just exaggerating. But cars that really dented up, like it's driving, got all kinds of dent stuff, like if you're driving around a rocky road every day, 10 miles down a rocky road every day in a brand new car, it's going to be all dented up after a while, rocks hitting everything and stuff. See, it might be like that after a while, but it's that far, then you might as well get your heart transplanted that far, right? But you understand the idea. So now you're emotional wreck. How anybody hard to deal with you? Schizoid, right? Bipolar, everything. Hard to deal with, hard to agree with, all these things, phobias and everything. Because your heart is open and it gets worse. And you remember we're under pressure. And pressure is about collisions. That's what pressure is all about. Collisions. So you've experienced this every day. So now every time you interact with somebody, right? That's more dents on your heart. Every time you interact with somebody, you got more and more dents on your heart. So as build up, so get overwhelmed after a while, now you're taking drugs and everything else, what covers it up again, the function. See, that's just the way it is, brothers and sisters. It's on your heart. So what you need to do, you need to do hard. Because the Bible says you cannot hit your kingdom unless you come in with a child's heart. It means you got to come in with a clean heart. Your heart got to be in this condition when you come in. But how you going to do that? You going to get a heart transplant? No, which needs a dent remover. You don't want to cover it up because you still got it there. It's just you cover it up. It's just like, you still stink, but you got perfume on. So people, they smell the perfume, but the stink is in the perfume. See, but the perfume overrides it, so it masks the stink, but you still smelling the stink. If somebody's stinking and they got perfume on, you still smelling the stink. It's just the perfume is so strong that it masks the smell, but you still smelling the stink. Believe me, you still smelling it because it's still there. I mean, how you not smelling it? It's going in your nose. So it's still there. So the person with the Scientology is still there. It's just they come out clear and they got all this engrams and all this stuff they be talking about, right? And they act like some kind of robot, some kind of weird thing, But it's still there. It hasn't gone. See? So you need a real official dent remover that takes the dents out. Because if you go buy a car that had a lot of dents in it, and you take it, they put this paste stuff on it, and they sand it down and they paint everything. The dent's still there. You just don't see them. So now you bought a car all dented up. You don't even realize it's dented, unless somehow somebody come in and storm or something, and blow the paint stuff. And he said, "Man, look all the dents and stuff," because they were there all the time, but you didn't know it. See, because they covered it up. That's what Scientology does. See, Islam is self-sufficient. See, Islam is totally sufficient. See, so that's what you need. You need a dent-free. See, they call it clear. They're not clear. They should call it covered up. But now he's clear. No, he should call it covered up. He's covered over. See, so you're all bipolar. You gotta get from one level to the other. Remember, if your heart's not conditioned, then just probably need a trend. We ain't talking about, I'm just exaggerating, but all dented up because they get that far. I mean, you can sand everything you want, you ain't gonna get that one straight. You need a heart transplant if your heart's in that condition. So on the left, it's supposed to be a disease heart. At least that's the context when I copied it out, right? So I don't, just take my word for it. Disease heart. On the right, it's a healthy heart. So the one is beating all badly and everything, right? See, because the heart has a frequency and vibration stuff that you don't see, and it's finally detected not too long ago. See, so in other words, now it's doing all these different things, right? And so you feel, because and you're picking up all these vibrations, all these other hearts all over the place. I talked about that in the previous principle. I'm not going to now. I'm saying is, but your heart got all these motion and stuff in it because your emotional base is in your heart. Like all these bad emotions, heart memory. See, now I hit this because you have the memory here, but you also heart. It's like your body, you have scars in your body. You get cut, you got scars in your body, right? You got all these scars and everything, right? You see the body healed, but you still got all these scars. The same thing in heart. Your heart heals, but you still got all these scars in it. You can't see them, but it's built into the heart. So all that stuff you went through, it's affecting your heart. And it accumulates. See? So what you want to get back to the right side, healthy heart. And what do? That's what Salats do. That's what the second pillar of Islam do. Because reciting the Quran, right, takes and it's a dent remover. Because you're reciting the words from Allah Himself, right? And He has a pure heart, the firm is a heart, and so the voice and the heart is connected. So if he's getting words, those coming from his heart. Mine also, but the vibrations come from his heart. The vibrations, the rhythm, all that kind of stuff that you get, that's why you get rhythm. We think rhythm comes from the brain, it comes from the heart. The heart is very rhythmic. See, they detected all this rhythm. They didn't even realize it was in the heart. That's why we're the most rhythmic people, because we got the most beautiful heart on the planet, right? So in other words, because that's why the Quran is so rhythmic. See, if you speak Arabic, it's so beautiful, so rhythmic. And so you recite it, right? You say, and you still get the rhythm and everything. You say, Psalms is an alternative, but it's not as good as the Quran, Book of Psalms. So you recite it. And the more you recite it, right, you start getting your heart back in the right rhythm. You start removing those dents. See, so if you got a lot of dents, you need to go into a real deep recite mode for a long period of time, like an hour, 2, 3 hours. If you can do it, it's hard, right? Until you get all the dents out. Get all the dents out. That means you ain't hating anybody no more. You ain't angry. You ain't all this regret, all this stuff. All this stuff is removed. You ain't like that no more. Then you're really clear. That's what you want to do. Then you're really clear. But it's hard to do that. And how you know it's working? Well, how do you know if you lifting the weight and it's working? How do you know what muscle is working on? The one that gets sore. The one that gets sore. That's the one that exercise is working. The one that gets sore. Same thing is, once you start making those, you got to recite in the voice not loud, like I said in the Quran. You got to hear it, but it don't really loud. But you hear it like we're talking now, right? You got to hear it because it's all connected. I'm not going into the details here. Go back on the second pillar of Islam and explain more detail, right? So what happened is that you're doing it, and when in the process of doing it, you find all of a sudden you start all this stuff, all this negativity stuff start coming up while you're doing it. Like it's trying to stop you doing it. Then you get to the point where you get mad. I'm a cause person. Because you feel like you want to hurt, you want to get even, you want to do all this stuff because that's just working on. That means to show you his works. Like you lift the weight and you feel the tension, you feel the you feel sore. That means that's the muscle working. So now all of a sudden that means it's work your emotions because all your emotions are just coming up to the surface. Once you start reciting, you start all your emotions seem coming to the surface and try to stop you from, because when you start when you start getting sore, that means you want to stop lifting, right? Because it makes you want to stop doing it. But you got to work through that to get the strength. Because if you stop, you never get anything. So you all of a sudden you're gonna get all these emotions start building up, and you got to work through it. Because that means it's removing, it's a dent remover, it's moving that stuff, and eventually you get to where you get clear. And once you get to that level, then all you need to do is enough, right, for all the different stuff to hit, all the stuff that happens to you every day. Because you get dense every day. Every time you interact with somebody, all the stuff you go through every day. So you just need to do enough to work every day to remain clear. That's the way it works, brothers and sisters. So I don't know if I made that clear before, right? I'm trying to make it clear now. That's what you're doing. See, there's more detail about that, about how it's affecting your thoughts and how, because your heart is like an antenna. It is an antenna. It picks up all the environment, everybody else's heart too. So therefore, at some point, if your heart is not firm, this makes it firm, then you're sitting around here and you don't even know who you are, because you can't distinguish your thought from anybody else. Like in a room where everybody's talking, you can't distinguish. Everybody's talking. Like you can't even hear yourself think. That situation you're in, brothers and sisters, and to solve that problem, because once you solve that problem, all the other stuff goes away. When you start that problem, then you can start thinking mathematically. When you start thinking mathematically, all religions just disappear. Because not one of those religions, right, is based on mathematics, not based on reason, based on you just believing in something. Anyway, that's the understanding here, brother and sister. May your slides the first stage is to make often enough. And if you can't, I do it like early in the morning. That's the best time because your heart's really fresh, right? It's most receptive, like the Quran says, right? Do it for an hour, right? If you can, right? If you're really bad shape, right? Try to do it maybe 3 times a day. An hour in the morning, afternoon, instead of eating. See? And you keep on fighting through it because you start feeling the benefit right away. You start feeling the benefit right away. Start seeing yourself getting clearer and clearer until you get to the point where all that stuff is out of your system. Then you're clear. Now you got to make sure it stays out of your system. So now instead of doing 3 hours a day, whatever you was doing 2 hours, now you can do an hour a day. That should be more than enough, right, to handle all the different emotional conflicts you have every day. Because every time you're in contact with somebody, you have some emotional conflict to some extent. You may not recognize it, but they interact with other people, right? Because you're dealing with all kinds of emotional issues every day. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Okay, let's move on here. And this right here is final. America's been burned up. The demons have been thrown out. We've been separated, right? There's a tribulation period. Remember, one everlasting life, one everlasting chain of torment. As demons, they're thrown back. Remember in the book of Mark, the demons, they wanted to go with their devil swine daddies. It's okay. They were thrown back to swine daddies. But there was a man, remember that story? Read that story carefully. Jesus, this man was plagued by demons. That's in the NOI. He was plagued by demons. So he had to separate the man from the demons. The demons wanted to go back to swine daddies. There it is right there. That's Farrakhan. They want to go back to swine daddies, right? And they want to put together. But the man, he wanted to leave with Jesus. He wanted to leave with Jesus, right? Suleiman, he wanted to leave with him, going back, right, to the promised land. He said, no, you can't. Because you got to go back and witness what you were supposed to do before. So you're supposed to be out there witnessing people, and you're responsible for these people's welfare because you're supposed to be witnessing. You're supposed to carry Elijah's message. You're going, but you fell for Farrakhan. So now you got to go and witness these people, right? You got to go to tribulation and witness the rest of these people that got left behind because they didn't wake up in time because you let Farrakhan and all these demons, right, be blocking the light. And so now they got to go tribulation. These not Levites you're talking about. See, Levite says NOI. But a lot of seed of Abraham is going to be left behind because they didn't wake up in time, they wouldn't listen. See, they didn't get their names in the book of life. So therefore, what happened? So now Levites got it because they're priest type. Now they got to witness to them back through the tribulation. Because that's why Solomon got to take 5 months to get them up on the angel. That 5 months from the demon plague. And then once he gets them up on that, then he leaves them behind. And then they got to witness to the rest of the seed of Abraham that was left behind, right? That's what it says in Daniel. Because that's what they're supposed to do it during the time between and Elijah's absence. They didn't do it, so now they got to do it through the tribulation. They didn't do it when they could have done it without all the stress and strain. They didn't do it. They fell for fire, so now they got to do it during the tribulation period. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. That's the storm. The law before the storm. The law is almost over. There's a 5 to 7 month period. It's almost over. Now the storm. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.